Hi. I just want to make sure we're live here on both on Facebook. I think we're good to go. Yay. So welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. Today we're going to be talking about the three keys to restoring gut health. Some of the things you might know, some of the things might be new to you. But I really, I just want to impart this information because it's so good. I mean, I've been working on restoring my gut health and tending it for years, and I'm still not done. So we're going to talk about the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects to our gut, our digestive center, because all three really do matter. And I know it's not always easy to know the right things to do because there's so much information out there. And, believe me, there are moments when I'm like, whatever, I'm just going to let what I'm doing be good enough. And it's not like it isn't good enough, but there's always missing, no, I shouldn't say it that way. I realize that when there's missing ingredients and I bring them into the recipe, then that enhances and increases the function of my gut at all levels. So we'll talk a little bit more about that too. And because today is my 60th birthday, I have a free gift for you, and it's called Healing Your Solar Plexus Digestive Energy Center. And it's juicy. And if you just pop the word gift in the comments, then I'm going to tell you how to get it just more towards the end of our time together. And I can't wait to share this with you. I think it will really help a lot. So, as we know, gut health is vital for health. And yet most people, especially as we gather our years, have a poor functioning digestive center, which affects every other part of our body. So if you were to just focus on strengthening this one system, your digestive system, it would have the most return on your efforts and for your health than just about anything else you could do. Not that other things aren't important, but if you tended this first, it would ripple out, it would have a ripple effect into everything else. So a warm welcome list for those of you listening live and on the replay. I always appreciate you joining and listening and learning and, elevating, being willing to elevate yourself. So if you have any questions or comments, pop them in the comments below. Like I said, I have an awesome gift for you. So I'll tell you about that just after we talk about the three keys. If we've not yet met, I'm Lori Morse, a 30-year practitioner of Chinese medicine, director of the Sacred Health Academy, where we teach spirit-centered women struggling with fatigue, pain, and stress, how to awaken her birthright of sacred health. And that is a real thing, so that she can live with ease and energy and peace and purpose. So let's talk about restoring an unhealthy gut, shall we? The reason it's really, really important to have good gut health is because it's the hub of health in our body. Every 24 hours, the body restores, repairs, and regenerates based on what's happening in the digestive system. It's called the earth element in Chinese medicine. And it's considered to be the hub of our health, right? We receive food and nourishment and liquids, and we generate thoughts and emotions and even though the thoughts are in our mind, we'll talk about this in just a minute, there's an effect in our gut instantly almost, right? So based on what's happening with all of that, that determines whether our system is weak or strong. It determines whether we're degenerating or regenerating. So it definitely matters a lot. So the three keys, let's start with the first one. It's the physical one. We've already been doing classes, and you can go back and look at the classes on microbiome and digestive enzymes and the leptin hormone that regulates our hunger signaling. And we've also touched in previous shows on the importance of nutrition. But of course, I haven't been able to go into much detail. We go into much more depth in the Sacred Health Academy, but suffice it to say, your nutrition and microbiome and hormonal health are super important. They affect us instantly at the level of our our physiology and our chemistry, right? So if you focus on that first, you'll be doing yourself a really great service. And I know it's easy to get overwhelmed with all the information that's out there, but if you just take little steps, in the right direction, I promise you that adds up over time. And, my thinking around all that is, time is going to be passing anyway. I have the rest of my life, however many years that means. I might as well be pointing myself in the right direction. Even if the steps are small and I don't actually notice them right away, they do add up. And when I look back, it's like, okay, those steps, those right choices mattered. And they do build a momentum, toward the vitality that we're all seeking, right? So that's I could say so much more. I don't want to keep you here till midnight, but that's what I can say about the physical. And there have been, if you want to pop into the other shows about the microbiome and the leptin and all that, feel free. They're on this page, the Creating Sacred Health page in Facebook, and they're also on YouTube, so you can grab them either way. So the second key is our mental emotional landscape, let's call it, right? We tend to feel our emotions in our gut. And it's a bit like a guidance system. And rather than tension, which is that contraction we tend to feel if something doesn't feel right, there should be, and it's good to check in with yourself all day long on this, right? Like just check in. There should be a sense of softness, a sense of ease, and a sense of lightness. Now, some people feel it in their gut. Some people feel it in, a little higher. Some people feel a little lower. But this general sort of area from, let's just say, below the belly button all the way up to our heart center, with that digestive or solar plexus area being kind of like the center point, that should be at ease. That should feel soft. So I really encourage you to check in. And if it isn't feeling that way, then take a couple of breaths, just drop in, use the tools you have to calm your mind. We did a show on the 3 crucial things for how the mind works, and there was some little tips in there. Go listen to that. There's a lot of material floating around now. We have a whole mind medicine vault in the Sacred Health Academy, because this is how it's important it is to stabilize and still our thoughts and our emotions. Because when we have a thought, there's an instant emotional response that comes to that. And that affects our chemistry, right? Like instantaneously. Let me see where I am in my notes, because I think I'm jumping ahead a little bit. Right, yeah, we're good. So we have a thought, there's an emotional response. And, we don't necessarily keep track of this all. It's just happening all day long. And then the instant we have a thought and an emotion, our brain chemistry reacts and releases cascades of chemicals, right? And if we're in a stress response, then those chemicals are quite corrosive, as I've said a gazillion times before. But if we're tending ourselves in this way and we're bringing ourselves into more of a calm center, and if you don't know how to do that, I get it. It's a muscle building exercise. We have to practice doing it. Let yourself trip and fall. Let yourself be wobbly at first, but don't give up, because it matters a lot, right? So, and this gut center, this digestive center, that it's like a guidance system for us, right? So we get in our car, we turn on the GPS, our guidance system tells us where to turn and how to go and all the things. And this is also the case for this center in our body. It's pivotal. And so, that feeling like if you have to speak in front of people, or if you have to have a hard conversation, or if you should speak your truth, but it's feeling a little scary, and that center tightens up, or anywhere in that area that we just talked about. It can even cause loose stools. I mean, a lot of people who speak will say that they have loose stools, before they go on stage, because it's that part of our system that this is the chemistry. This is just one example of what the chemistry can do, right? So, and also you've heard that, like, people who have a lot of stress might get an ulcer. Well, that is the chemicals of the stress response literally eating away at the lining of the stomach from the inside. And that's what creates an ulcer. So this is real stuff, right? So I think it's just important to make a decision in our life that we're going to tend to our physical system. In this case, we're talking about this digestive system. We'll tend to it emotionally and mentally, and we'll tend to it spiritually, which we're going to talk about next. So let's just do something really simple together, right? Sometimes these simple acts are they are simple, but they have a lot of power, but they're subtle. So we have to kind of bring ourselves to attention and let our awareness connect into it so that we can actually get the benefits. So if you put one of your hands just on your digestive center, so it's just going to be below your, like your sternum, though, your ribs. If you draw, crawl up your ribs, and there's that kind of center point, that is that place just below, just put your hand there. You can put one of your other hands either on your heart center or just below your belly button. And just take a couple of deep breaths, drop your awareness into the hand and what's underneath your hand that's at your digestive or your solar plexus energy center. And just, there's nothing you need to do, but just breathe. And then if you're willing, if you're in a place where you could say this out loud, say, I am safe. It's important to know that when we use the words I am, and you might already know this, but this will be a loving reminder. When we use the words I am and whatever comes after it, it initiates energy in, through, and around us. The entire universe recognizes the words I am as a creative force. And so when we are conscious and intentional about that, and we draw that to ourselves, it can change our molecules, right? So the idea is to feel, just to drop into that sort of calmness inside, and to feel what it feels like when you say, I am safe. Because you are. I mean, honestly, there's no tiger chasing you. And so, it's a fair statement to say that, right? And even if you are in a sticky situation, if you're not dead and you're not running from a saber-toothed tiger, then you have more safety than you realize. It's just our mind can go down a rabbit hole with all kinds of stuff, as we all know. So the other thing you can say is, I am enough. I am enough. This center, this solar plexus, is the center of enoughness. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But the other thing at the level of mental, emotional, is that when our emotions and our thoughts and our physiology is in a good way, then it becomes a very solid foundation for our heart center. We don't always think about that, right? Like, our solar plexus is the foundation of our heart center. And that matters a lot, because our heart center is like a sacred portal to all good things, the treasures of life, the nuggets of gold that we're all seeking for. There's a whole thing about seeking the Holy Grail. Well, it's inside, right? And it's accessed through our heart center. So when we honestly, I do a lot of the tending I do to my digestive center, not only because I want to feel good and I know it's the right thing to do for a human body, but because I want to open my heart center even more. And so this is part and parcel of that, right? It's kind of a big deal. So the third and last but not least is our spiritual health. This center is called the solar plexus, and solar means sun, and plexus means like a network. So that could be a network of nerves or blood vessels in a human body. As a spiritual being having a human experience, as we all are, the solar or sun, solar sun, same thing, actually means our soul light. So cultivating our soul's light is a thing, right? It's, taking care of this center physically and emotionally allows us more access to our soul or our spirit and our light. And light is medicine. I'm actually writing a book on that right now. And I don't know that it's going to necessarily be called Light as Medicine, but that's the essence. That's the gist of the book, is how to access the medicine, the personal medicine that lives in every single one of us and every one of our trillions and trillions of cells, how to access that medicine, because the light is already there and it carries the codes, right? It carries the codes of medicine. So anyway, that's another topic. So the thing is to know is that if this solar plexus digestive system is weak, then our power to connect with our higher self, can become weak too. And nobody wants that, right? Like, we're all seeking to be centered and peaceful and empowered and feeling a sense of value and worth, right? So as I've tended this center and cleaned up my diet and created healthy microbiome and become conscious of my thoughts and healed emotional wounds, then my spiritual connection has gotten stronger. And that is one of the big inspirations for doing this work, as I've already said. So I have noticed, and I've noticed it in other women, hundreds of other women that I've worked with over the years. It shores up a sense of self-value. It shores up a sense of self-worth. And it has given me a whole new access to what it means to feel like I'm enough, right? Because we're programmed to be not enough. Like that's just a cultural programming. We seem to drop into that programming, right? And then we have to kind of find the treasure of enoughness in our journey called life. But it also has helped me to have access to what it really means to experience self-love. So, and I can tell you that while self-care is vital, it's vital. Like we've been talking about that in practically every one of our classes together. It's so much more than that. It's more than a bath. It's more than a manicure. It's more than the exercise regime. All of that matters, and I love all of it, but there are deeper layers to what it means to self-love. And I don't think that I would have had the ability to have access to that if I wasn't tending to all three of these elements, right? So I want to share the gift with you. I'm going to actually share my screen. Let me go grab, I have to go over here. So just give me 1 second here so I can share my screen with you, because I really can't wait to share with you what your gift is, right? So you'll get a link to this. Normally there's a fee to it, but I'm going to give it to you for free. I'll give you a code that you can get it, and it'll take you inside of the umbrella of the Sacred Health Academy, but there's a section in there for creative healing, creative health processes. And you'll get, an introduction to what it means, what this means. You'll get a list for all the materials. You'll get ritual, how to set yourself up as a ritual. And honestly, I want to say you can have this be as simple or as elaborate as you would like. It's a spectrum, and you choose how you want to play, but I want to give you all the materials so that you can make decisions, and you can apply what you get in this too to every element of your life. So it's not just for, what we're talking about here. There's a list of what the colors mean according to the divine qualities. And, then you can start choosing how you want to wear colors, how you want to put colors in your environment. All of that affects the overall vibrational environment, as well as your internal physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual environment, and your energetics, if you will. There's an inquiry journal. There's what it means to gather symbols that are meaningful to you. This is the class that's specific to the solar plexus digestive energy center healing. So you'll get a whole video tour. That it's like, I think it's I don't know, it's 30 minutes or so, and it'll take you, I'm not going to play it now because it'll take too much time, but just know that this is the actual class. And then you also get an audio. Let me see if we're going to, oh dear, let me just log in real quick. It's kicking me out. Here we go. Yeah. So you'll get an audio. So this is just like a guided imagery, guided meditation thing for you to be able to work with, specific to your solar plexus. And then you will also get journal prompts that are specific to your digestive energy center and whatever you may be healing. You will get, I want to show you this here. So you're going to get this graphic that is showing right here is what you will download. And this is what I mean by simple. You can just print this out. This is actually the mandala that represents the solar plexus. There's also a little Sanskrit graphic that goes in here, but I didn't put it in there. If you want, you can go grab it off online and drop it in here, but I just wanted to keep it more simple for simplicity's sake. But you can just color this like you would color a coloring book page. The key is doing it with an intention, and that will all be made clear, if you go through the video class. But you could also make this elaborate. You could copy this onto a watercolor page, or you could copy it into a journal page, there's so many variations of how you could do this. But my point in showing you this is how simple it could be. You print this page out, and you just, you could color it with highlighters if that's all you have available. It doesn't matter. It's the act of doing it that gives us access to subconscious healing, which is kind of important, right? Because if we could heal ourselves based on what we are aware of in our conscious awareness, we'd be doing a much more, bang up job, but most of the stuff is in the subconscious. So doing a process like this gives us access to the subconscious. It gets past the gates of the mind, drops us into where, and when we do it with intention, that's the whole idea, then we're literally healing as we're doing it. That's the bottom line. We're transforming the energy as we're doing it. And then the other thing I wanted to show you, oh gosh, isn't that beautiful? I've been keeping this up on my screen because I just love staring into this lion's eyes. Anyway, let me show you this that you will also get, which is a list of other ways that you can support this energy center. So food and how to envision, and specific stones, essential oils, different flowers. This will describe the function of this energy center, some of the physical symptoms, so you know what to look out for, so that you know when and why it needs tending, and then what it means for it to be balanced. So this will be included in the process. Oh Lord, we're getting all kinds of stuff here. That's what this Healing the Solar Plexus Energy Center means. So I just wanted to give you a little tour so you know what your gift is. I'm going to stop sharing now and bring us back to where will be. Okay, let me just grab where I was. Hold on a second. I lost my notes. Oh, there they are. Okay. Yeah. So I am going to post in the comments just after I jump off of this, off of our live together. I'm going to post the link to go get this gift and the code that you'll need to kind of go through the process to get it, right? So I hope you receive this gift, with love from me, and with support to this energy system from me, and that it really it blesses you in ways that you can't even imagine at this point before you do it, right? So let's recap really quick. We talked about the 3 keys to restoring your gut health. Each key is important in its own way, so tending to each one matters. Just keep it going. Don't just put one foot in front of the other. And I can tell you, some days are better than others. So on my good days, I work it a little bit more, whatever it is I'm tending. And on my less good days, I just do my best, because that's really all we have in the end, isn't it? So, and then we moved, let's see, what am I saying here? Keep it going. Yeah, I said that. And then we looked into the Sacred Health Academy, and the other thing we talked about is just taking small steps. We say this all the time in the Academy. Keep moving forward, because small steps add up to big results. And so sometimes we just need to be reminded. It's so easy to want to just sort of sit down in our stuckness and not move forward. And by the way, this energy center, if one is feeling stuck, and if there's 2 things to know that on the non-physical level, if you feel stuck, and if you are, if you're kind of brooding or you're churning in your thoughts, this energy center needs tending, right? So that's just something else to know. There's a lot to say about each of these centers, and I'm just trying to give you as much as I can in our short time together. So these are broad brushstrokes. What I can say is that when you do a creative health process, like if you choose to do the solar plexus one, and you'll be guided through how to do it. And part of it is connecting to your higher self, your creative life force, your source of life, your spirit, your, whatever, the universe, whatever word that you put to that. She will guide you, and she will bring the clarity to you about the things that you need to do. And if you ask for your guidance to be clear, and if you ask for your guidance to be come to you in graceful ways, and in ways that you can do, today and then tomorrow and the next day, then you'll get that. But we have to be clear with our requests, right? And that's why inquiry journals are really important, because it helps us kind of hone our questions and our requests and our inquiries, right? So there's a lot in that one little process. Anyway, I don't want to belabor that point. So, and let's see. So I hope you accept this gift and let me know the nuggets you're getting, either even in this time together, but certainly once you do the process. I would love to hear how it has come forth for you, how, what you learned, what you discovered, what nuggets came forward, what's shifting, what transformed. And of course, I will be back next week, as I am every Wednesday at 9 o'clock. And next week, we're going to talk about tips on helping the body feel safe, which is important to settle a stress response. Like I mentioned that earlier, right? Like even just putting our hands, that's not going to be one of the tips. That was just for today. But, there's more tips on helping our body to feel safe, because that's really a key to being able to stay centered in peace. So, as always, a sacred journey is yours to take. I'm here to make sure you don't miss your heart calling you home to health, because it's yours to claim. And it's just one step at a time on this path that will get you more energy, less pain, less stress and worry, the nutritional lifestyle you've been trying to make work, and best of all, your birthright of peace and purpose. All without spending too much time and money, right? Especially because, as you may well know, maybe you don't, I don't know, but I feel like a broken record when I say it's our birthright. It is your birthright and it is my birthright to access the coded health that's in every one of our cells. So thank you for being you and tending to your sacred health, because not only does it matter to you, it matters to life and to the world. So I will see you next week. Be well and be sacred. I don't know how to turn this off. Oh, one second.